Mila, and today we're going to be discussing and reviewing Dark Horses by Cecily von Ziegesar. I believe that's how you say her name. As you guys probably know already, I'm terrible with names. I'm so sorry. But you know what? I tried. That's all that matters. So first of all, I want to start off by thanking Grace over at Lovingdon Books, as well as Soho Publishing, for sending me this awesome book as a part of Booktube tours, which is basically kind of like a blog tour in which books are sent out for promotional purposes. And though I was sent this book for free, all the opinions in this review are uniquely my own. And along with this review, I have a very exciting giveaway for you guys. If you guys would like your very own free copy of Dark Horses, there is a giveaway link in the description box down below, which will take you to a Booktube tour page in which you can enter. I will also leave all the links to where you can purchase the book, as well as the links for the author, as well as information about Booktube tours in case you are interested in any of this. I will leave it all in the description box down below. But yes, so I'm so excited to be discussing this review with you guys. There's going to be a non-spoilery section and then a discussion part of this video. For those of you who have not yet read this book, do not fear. I will give you a warning into when I'm going to be getting into the spoilery discussion, so you have time to leave and go read the book and come back so we can discuss it together. But yes, overall, I liked this book. I didn't think it was the greatest book in the world. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Overall, I did enjoy the book. However, I did have some major issues with this book. 1 being the development of the secondary characters. 2, the sort of random and jumpy plot of this book. And 3, the writing was a little bit simplistic for my taste, but I felt like it kind of needed an extra punch to kind of further emphasize the story. This book is about a girl, Merritt, who had this incredibly close bond with her grandmother. Together they bonded over horseback riding and just their love for horses in general, and everything was going just fine until Merritt's grandmother died. From there, Merritt's world's turned upside down, and she's suffering from depression and develops unhealthy habits, such as drinking and taking a whole bunch of random pills. As you might suspect, things aren't going too well for Merritt at this point, and so one day when she's supposed to be taking the SAT, she runs out of the room and gets on a train. Her parents have no idea where she is, but once they do find her, they send her to a recovery place called Good Fences, in which other girls in Merritt's situation can bond with horses to help them recover. That's pretty much all I can say for the non-spoilery section. So for those of you who have not yet read this book, please do so and come back so we can discuss it together. Bye, non-spoilery people! Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to discuss is kind of the plot of this book. Now, going into this book, I thought it was about this girl who had a lot of issues in her life, and she ended up bonding with horses to help her recover from her mental illnesses and cope with the traumatic events that are happening in her life. However, it's not quite what this book is about. Yes, technically Merritt is at Good Fences to recover. However, that is not the main plot of this book. This book revolves around Merritt's relationship with Red, which I really wish wasn't the case. I wish it would have focused more on Merritt dealing with her mental illnesses and all that's happened since her grandmother died and dealing with that and recovering from that. However, that's not what we saw, and I was so frustrated by that because the plot became more about how can we distract Merritt so that she can compete in the horse races, win big bucks, and not think about her problems or mental illness, which is just so frustrating for me because it quickly becomes evident that Merritt loves horseback riding, and once she arrives at Good Fences, I thought for sure she was going to fall in love with horseback riding and it would help her overcome and deal with all the stress and trauma that she is facing, and it does in the beginning. However, by the time the story moves on, horseback riding is not something that Merritt chooses, it's something that she is forced into. Not even Cammy, the counselor at Good Fences, stands up for Merritt when other people want a quick fix for Merritt, which was just so upsetting to me because I feel like Cammy, of all people, should have been the one to say, there's no such thing as a quick fix, so you know what, we're just gonna have to let Merritt deal with this stuff on her own, and just forcing her into all this chaos that her world is becoming with Red, the competition, the stress of working for Beatrice's dad, the stress from her parents' conflicting opinions. I feel like that she would just have to deal with those, like ignore the quick fix because she just needs to deal with those things on her own time instead of being forced into horseback riding and competing, which was very upsetting to me. Talking more about Merritt's parents, I didn't like them from the beginning. They saw Merritt struggle after her grandmother's death, didn't bother to help her, and just saw everything that Merritt was going through as a disruptance in their life. I can't even, it makes me so mad just thinking about it. It just bothered me so much that there was nothing that they did to help her. They just sent her away to different places. They didn't want this disruptance in their life. They wanted to be able to go and run marathons, travel the world, live their lives to their fullest. Meanwhile, while Merritt is just struggling to get by every day. And it felt like there was a lack of of character development for Merritt's parents. Yes, they are getting a divorce, and yes, Merritt's mom did show up for Merritt's last horse race. However, I was just looking for something more drastic, something game-changing. Like them realizing that Merritt needs them, and that the way they were thinking that of Merritt being a disruptance in their life was wrong, but that's not what happened. They just kept going about they're getting a divorce, but I still just don't feel like either of them are really committed to helping Merritt, which just made me so incredibly sad. And they end up just sending her back to good fences in the end, and I feel like this book just became a cycle. Merritt is completely back where she was started, because by the end of the book she was still suffering from trauma. She is dealing with 2 other deaths other than her grandmother's, and if anything she's become worse because of all this, and she's just ending up at good fences, and it's just this cycle, and it's so upsetting to me. I wanted Merritt to start recovering, and maybe she will at good fences. We kind of saw that, but I don't know, I was just expecting something more, which was pretty much my thing with the whole book. For example, the other relationships in this book with Merritt and Beatrice, they had such a good strong friendship in the beginning of the book. Because they both have their issues, I thought for sure they were gonna come together and bond over their friendship and common issues and help each other recover, but that's not what we saw. Things got worse. Beatrice died, and Merritt was left to deal with her death, and I thought Beatrice was just such a good strong character that her potential was kind of wasted in that moment. I felt like she could have served a bigger purpose in this book other than dying out of nowhere, and that was also kind of my issue with Red. But with Red, it's a bigger situation in the plot. Red had the power to make everything better. Merritt was bonding with Red. Because of him, her passion for horseback riding was reignited. When I'm reading from an animal's perspective, and it has to be a strong perspective. It has to benefit the plot in some way. It has to emphasize it. But in this book, I felt like Red's perspective really didn't do that, and I would have loved it if it continued on the way it started, with Red and Merritt bonding over their common differences, just like Beatrice. But then Red became so possessive, which is so weird, reading from a horse's perspective. And then, bam, out of nowhere he dies too, just like Beatrice. And Merritt's left to deal with 2 deaths on top of her grandmother's, and I just don't see how this is helping her cope with anything or recover, because I thought this book was going to be about a girl on her way to recovery, dealing with all these issues in her life. Instead of recovering, all these relationships she's developed just explode in her face, and she was left in a worse position than where she started. Now, as for Carvin, I also had a major problem with his storyline, and it's kind of the same as the other storylines. I feel like him and Merritt would have been good friends, and they could have bonded, and thought their friendship had such potential, but then it elevated to a romance. I just thought that was so unnecessary. I feel like the book would have been so much stronger if it would have just been Merritt working out her issues and realizing that this is something that she needs to work on alone, and she did realize that by the end, and that made me so incredibly happy. And also because of that, like, what was the purpose of their romance? Yes, it caused her to realize she needed to work out things on her own, but I don't know, it just felt so unnecessary to me. But yes, those are all my thoughts and opinions on Dark Horses by Cecily von Ziegesar. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have read this book, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you have the same issues I did? Let's discuss it together. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you all are having a lovely day. My name is Mila, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!